Candace Owens leaving MAGA.
She
You
did
heard
leave
about that?
MAGA,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did. It's sad. She's the type of person when she don't get her way, she gone. And
That, oh.
for a
Mhm.
long time, she been going hard for Trump, and she ain't get picked
So,
because she made enemies with APAC.
uh, because I was saying to myself, I saw a lot of topics that I was going to bring up, just by myself. But I said, listen, I know a couple of folks that actually rock with Trump. I'll, come run it by you. But I ain't going to act like I know what's going on. I was just going to ask you, do you think that the tariffs and all that, what Trump doing right now, is going to eventually benefit the American people? Because you got a lot of people protesting against Trump and Elon, and I'm not gonna use it as a "I told you so" moment that Trump was gonna get in there and do this, because maybe it's still a grand end goal that we might not know. I'm just trying to give you, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a
I think
political savvy type person. Yeah, my bad.
I think the terrorist. I think what he's doing is great because what he's doing is bringing jobs back to America. Now some years ago, all the companies here began moving to other countries, and a lot of people with hands-on jobs have lost jobs over all these years. Next thing you know, you're calling customer service representatives, and they're not people from this country. So they took a lot of customer service jobs, a lot of jobs. They put them in the hands of other countries. So a lot of people lost jobs, a lot of blue collar jobs. Yeah. So he's
It,
trying to bring everything back because they should never left anyway. They took jobs away from us.
do you have any like? Because listen, like, I do think that people who are in support of Trump got legitimate responses to all of the backlash. It's crazy to see a lot of people turn against Trump who was supporting him. But my thing is, what about where do you stand? Because I'm not debating. I just want to hear your stance on the power he gave Elon. Because I know a lot of people who support Trump turned against him after so long with giving Elon so much power. Do you still feel like he know what he's doing, and that Elon is like, don't these this is necessary with the power we giving
Yes,
him with Doge? Okay, I'm gonna
I
fall
think
back.
he does know what he's doing.
All right.
I really do. Um, Let me tell you why.
Okay.
For a lot of years, I was where Candace was. I was exactly where she was with Democrats. Candace used to be a Democrat hardcore. And me, I was a Democrat campaigning for like 30, 39 years. And one news jockey told me that I would be a Republican, and I you couldn't tell me that I would ever be a Republican. I was like, "Oh no, I won't." But then I began to learn, and I never wanted a political position. I did try to run for governor, but I backed out because my husband died unexpectedly. So I backed out of the race. I was going against this current governor, as a matter of fact, but he's in his second term now.
Mm.
Um, but for many years, I campaigned real hard with Democrats. I was a union steward for 30 years, and I campaigned. I went canvassing. I went to other states to help out campaigning for Democrat leaders until I couldn't figure out why I couldn't move nowhere, and that they and why our people couldn't open businesses. They were always turned down, and they were always turned down by Democratic leadership. Like when we try to get people businesses in our communities, they were being denied, but foreigners were able to come over here and open up business with no problem. And we had the community support, but we were denied by our local municipality government. So I said, this, I began to see that I was hurting myself when I was voting real hard on the Democrats because I knew they weren't for me and they weren't for my people, only when it came to campaigning. So I begin to step back, smell the coffee, and just look at the condition of my people in across the 50 states. And I saw that a lot of us are on Section 8, a lot of us receive assistance, a lot of our men are on disability. And I mean, they'll approve somebody, a man from our community that came out of jail in 10 years. If you do 10 to 20 years in prison, you're automatically eligible for disability because you've been locked up. So a lot of our men that came out of prison, they were automatically getting food stamps, EBT cards. They had to vote, register, and they made sure they selected Democrat, and they're easily eligible for social disability. They call it mental disability, and that's what was holding us back. A lot of our women are stuck on Section 8. They're afraid to let Section 8 go. They'll work out of the year. This is in my state, what I'm seeing, and I speak with other people in other states. They'll work 6 months out of the year just so that they can file income tax and get back like a nice $7,000 to $10,000 income tax check. But they kept the Section 8. They only work 6 months out of the year so they won't lose it. And I saw that that was a crutch
That's true,
in
though.
what it was doing. So that's all from Democratic. They're notorious for social service programs. Yep.
You
A
know what,
lot of
Sister
the
Bethy? Cause,
mm,
cause that's all I wanted to do. Because for I made a couple of streams, like going, how I used to go in on Trump a lot. I said, look, I'm just gonna have a conversation with people that I know who rock with Trump and try to be open minded to what he's doing, to how it benefit me. I ain't even debating you. Now, what do you say to those people that say two wings, same bird? Why is Trump the answer now over like the Demis? Because we know that the Demis weren't doing that for us, but are we going to them because the Republican because the Demis weren't doing that for us, or because the Republicans are doing something for us? You see what I'm saying?
yes.
Uh,
I always hear the term um two snakes are the same head. I
yeah,
always hear that term, and there's some truth to it. But the one thing about the Republicans is they never changed their stance. They always told us, even back in the 70s when I was a little girl, get off our tax dollars. They was talking to a lot of welfare recipients. They want you to open your own business. You get denied by Democrats to open a business before you would a Republican. A Republican want you to pay taxes. They do. They always said, get a job, get a job. They wanted us to get jobs, but they didn't understand the conditions that the Democrats put us in to prevent us from getting jobs. So even though people may say, all right, two heads with the same snake, we have a better economic chance with the Republicans than we would Democrats.
that's what's up. Make sure y'all hit the like and share button. Do me a favor, mods. Make sure we post Sister Beth the link in the chat so we can pin it real quick. We
Oh
forgot to
yeah, we
do
got a
that
lot of people. It's in 1,300
real quick.
already, Sanchez.
And that this gonna be a fire one, because I'm not gonna even have these bills by myself no more. Cause people say stick to flat earth whenever time I do the political stuff. So I'm gonna get my brother Rich on, and I'm gonna ask you this real quick. This thing called the IRS, and Trump said he finna do away with that. We all hate that thing. We hate the ERS. But he said he about to make the external revenue service. You heard about the external revenue service thing and him doing away with the IRS? I ain't gonna lie, I like that. I don't like the R. How does
I
that?
do too.
Yeah, holler at us about what's that about? That you know a little bit
Well,
about? Yeah.
when you get rid of the IRS, you're not paying all them taxes out of your paychecks. When I look at my paycheck, what I actually make compared to the net amount is crazy. It's over $1,000 taken out of my paycheck before it's when it's direct deposited in my account. Man, do you know what I could do with that? You know how many bills I can pay with that? So taxes, I understand it makes the country goes around, but it's not going to stop the state taxes. So what I'm wondering is if they stop the federal taxes, because that's what um IRS is, it's federal. It's at the federal level. If they stop that, is this now gonna boot acts to make this are the states gonna go increase their taxes? Because the state tax takes out less than federal anyway. So is that going to say, well, y'all getting a lot of money, we're going to increase our taxes on you? Are they going to do that to us?
Yeah.
Because you get rid of the federal tax,
That's
but the state tax, are they going
facts.
to do that?
Facts. And you know, because it's so much like the Board of Education thing. People saying, well, he giving more power back to the states. I was hearing both sides, and I was like, well, when we used to say, well, the responsibility starts in the houses and the parents and all that first, and now it's kind of, you can make the argument that the people getting that and complaining about it now. If you really, so that's why I said I wanted some smoke with that, but friendly smoke. We ain't gonna, and I'm just gonna be biased because I was looking at this saying, look, man,
I got
politics.
thick skin, bro, Sanchez. Don't
Yeah,
forget that. I'm from Connecticut, so you know we hard over here in the north.
that's what. Let's
But
drop a bomb for that. So
I
we
got
for
thick
sure.
skin.
Yeah. No, take the floor because look, and I ain't gonna just.
Education.
Yeah, Board of Education. I ain't gonna talk about Trump all night with you, but that was the main thing because it's so much going on in MAGA and stuff like that. But yeah, you got it.
Well, education, I'm glad that they're returning it to the states because now we as parents, we get to pick what our child's education should be like. We have a lot of say so now. We have a lot of power because we don't have to now go to send our children to the school in our communities. We could send them to higher quality education. And it, like you said, it really does start at home. We have to train our children. We do. We have to teach them, and we have to stop babying them at 2 years old. I'm looking at the Asian population all across, and those little children hold some very serious conversations at age 2. I'm so infatuated with Asian culture anyway, but their children are smart, very intelligent. Not to say that our children over here are not, but I'm just the discipline. Their discipline starts very early, and ours we baby our. It's like we baby our men. You got 50-year-old men that are freaking superheroes and they ain't working no jobs. They sitting home and they're superheroes. You see them in YouTube. They got superhero avatars and they be like fit. They be in my era. I'm Generation X, and they watch these superhero movies. And I think they get delusional because they then begin to create a history of our people that relates to the superhero. And I'm like, this is some bullshit. Y'all men got to grow up, get your ass off the couch, and get a job. Same thing with the sisters. Y'all got to stop taking care of these brothers. Make their ass get out and get a job.
Yeah,
I'm
for
serious.
sure.
It's not good. It's not good.
Yeah.
But you got a lot
Eh,
of a
eh,
lot of dads that are stay-at-home dads, and I understand that because stay-at-home dads are great too because they raise the children really good, and the woman go out and work, and that's
mhm.
understandable. But too many too many of us niggas, man. We got to get it right, and y'all, you know, when it comes to education and training and job seeking. You say, yay, 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 Trump, get these immigrants out. But yet none of y'all niggas ain't gonna pick up no lawnmowers and nothing. That's why they're here. So I don't know. I'm ready for the smoke. I'll tell my brothers
and
and nephews the same thing. I'm serious. I'm keeping it above.
and you making some good points, and I would say to that a lot of the FBAs, right, in this country, they tend to think that they can do less and get more entertaining, cracking jokes, doing music. And I ain't gonna lie, if you pretty good at any one of those, it is true. for the most part, you can go online, and if you can have a couple 100,000 subscribers, that'll that'll make you say kiss that lawnmower goodbye, right? Because if a person's sweating in the sun cutting grass for $100 a day, and they say, man, I can go online and make $100 a live stream starting off with the potential to move up. People are thinking in terms of how many videos, likes, and live streams versus how many hours. And I get it, Sister Bethy, because you're right. When I came up, I knew the satisfaction of pushing a lawnmower. Landscaping was actually one of my main jobs, actually. And I knew the importance of working hard and just every hour, $10 an hour, $20 an hour. But then we in an age now where somebody can go online and play a game and make $2,000 in their Cash App just for beating a video game because people want to see them beat the game. What is that helping us or hurting us? Because everything
I think it's hurting us.
Okay, go ahead, take the floor.
It's hurting us, and it's really sad because I tell you, the China boy got you because they're making apps, okay, on cell phones, and you know how many guys they got doing Uber. See, that comes from lack of education. If our men went to school, took up computer programming and things of that nature, they could create those same apps and have their own Uber companies. But we rather work for people. This is what we mean when we say lack of education. You got a lot of young men from India that are very educated. They learn, they take up these computer programming classes, and we have those same potentials, but we don't do it. And it's not, nobody's been denied to take up courses. That's a lie. You could take up computer programming and make apps. People are not denied to go and enhance their education. And we make too many excuses. YouTube is my part-time job. I work literally a full-time job. YouTube is part-time. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you somebody like me, you work full-time and you work part-time, and I run another part-time job, there shouldn't be no nigga laying home on your couch. Because if you could work 3 jobs and he can't work one, there's something wrong with your picture. You need to get rid of dude off the couch. But it is what it is. We accept what we accept. I don't know where else you want to go with this, but that's a political thing too. That's in the Trump. He's doing a lot of deportating. He's deporting a lot of immigrants, illegal ones. I don't have a problem with immigrants. I have a problem with illegal immigrants because they're the ones coming over getting the jobs for dirt cheap salaries. And that's what the Democrats have always used them for. Cheap labor. I'm a slave. I don't care what nobody say. You got a job, you a slave. I'm a slave. I'm an indentured servant, basically, if you call it, because indentured servants have contracts. Slaves are in prison. When you're in prison, you're literally a slave because you have no rights, you have no power, you have nothing. When you are an indentured servant, today, I'm an indentured servant. I have a contract. I'm in a union. And people don't understand that. When you work for somebody, you are a slave. They changed it to indentured servant now. Never changed. And when they're bringing in people, because they changed the name, when they bring in immigrants, they changed the whole name. They changed it from slave to immigrants. So it doesn't look like they're bringing in slaves. Every time they bring in immigrants, they're bringing in more slaves to work in their businesses.
Okay, that's what's good. So
I know
a
hit
lot
dogs
of
holler,
people.
but I told you I'm ready for the smoke.
Okay, nah. What I'm saying, I'm neutral on this one because my thing is, the people in the chat room gonna want to come up. I'm just here to, like I said, I ain't here to debate you. I'm gonna let other people come
No,
up
we
and
can
all that.
communicate, and
But
I don't have a problem agreeing to
you haven't
disagree.
said nothing yet that
I
I
got thick
really
skin.
got big pushback against. You know what I'm saying? Because I can understand the importance and appreciation of like you said, start from the bottom. Now you're here. So a lot of the
Yep.
OGs will say, "I'm hating on a young guy because he got online and became blowed up overnight with a lot of money." What I'm telling the next young man is that ain't reality for everybody. So you got to plan bigger than that, right? So that's the route I took in life was law enforcement. It was shitty, but like you said, you can respect a person that can respect a grind and a job. The security guards, the truckers, the police, stuff like that. We may not give them enough credit, but these are career men. These are men that can that's going away because I think they want to replace the whole workforce eventually. A lot of kids are never gonna realize the even process of what a resume is or stuff like that in the future, in my opinion. What you think about that? Because the goal they said Elon got is to get rid of the human workforce. They saying Trump and Elon want to do away with the human workforce and bring in humanoids and bots. So that'll work against what me and you saying right now. So I know we don't agree with you don't agree with everything Trump and Elon may be doing. Do you think that conflict with that? Because a lot of kids are saying, well, hey, in the future we won't have to work anyway. Robots will do that. You think that's part of the problem too?
Yeah, but I don't think they'll be very successful.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to replace the people. What now if they do bring in those robots? Because I watched your show when you were showing those robots that look like human and they were doing work. You need people to operate them because they're not humans. So you need someone behind the scenes to operate them.
Okay.
Like
So
if they could have a duplicate of you, brother Sanchez, and you probably I said, well, you know what, I can't
uh
be in my house to run my show, but your duplicate could be there, but you could be behind the scenes working it like what we do now. Like I'm full time working from home. My body I used to be required to go in the office and work, but because the people that I work with are all on the road, I communicate with them through email anyway. So they don't need my body in the office no more. So a lot of the work is going to be done from home.
you,
There's more jobs at home now. That's why so many young ones are not working in the grocery store no more. You see a lot of retired 55 and up working in grocery stores and in the produce department because the seniors need supplemental income. And the young ones, they don't want to work in Burger King no more. I mean, back in the 80s, when I was a teenager, I worked in Sabero's restaurant. We needed that money. Today, these kids look at $100 paycheck like you crazy. I can go on YouTube and make that or TikTok and make that. And it's true.
that
And
is
so
true.
many women are working in a strip club. Them chicks be bringing home $1,500. Why would they go work in Wendy's? And
Mm.
work a whole week and get a check for $105 when they could strip one day and
You
be
don't,
having $1,500.
but you don't condone that. I know. Now, would you
Huh?
rather
I don't
them
judge.
work?
I don't judge people no more.
But hold up, Sister Betty.
Now, when I get on
What
the
if,
pole,
what if
hell no.
Sister Betty, what if somebody say you got most smoke now for the guy who want to try at podcasting versus the stripper? Because you saying that, earlier you were saying, about going a little hard on just the people who want to have these social media gigs and not really going out getting a job. A person may come back at you and say, well, look, I'd rather my daughter try to be a content creator than a stripper, though, because she making double what a stripper made just using her intellect on a podcast or something about a political debate or technology or something like that. What do you think?
Well, wait, let me first clarify. The dude I'm talking about is the dude that's on somebody's panel. Like, say like I'm on your panel. I've been on your panel for 24 hours. I ain't go nowhere. I'm not getting paid. You are. That dude, how could you be on there and you got a woman at work? She now going on her second shift and you're still there. There's no children involved. That's not cool. I'm talking about the dude that ain't making no money on YouTube. Because you got these dudes that float around on channel to channel to channel. These niggas ain't got no jobs. They can't possibly have jobs. Because you see them there, first shift. I do a whole first shift. Then you go second shift. I'm in people chat laughing and enjoying myself. Third shift, the same person on it. There's no way. Because it's not his channel. That's not good. That's not good. And they young too. And you have some my age. Me, I get livid when a 50-year-old man don't have no damn job. You ain't retirement age. I'm older than 50. Look, I'm 58. I know I look good. I'm 58. And I still work two jobs because I like money. So, I mean, it is what it
You know,
is.
I read an article not too long ago, Sister Betty. It said that some to the lines of, it was using the rhetoric of we're leaving the job age and we're moving into like the gig age. And they're saying that the new generation is the gig age and they're actually like banking off online gigs and, you know, gigs here. And what do you think about that right there?
Well, see, you're talking about Generation Z. They are intelligent.
Yeah.
Generation Z is a whole different breed from millennials. They are they are swift, and they do a great job with content creation. Millennials, it's like half and half. Like now, what I respect about millennial generation, they were born business minded.
Mm-hmm.
You millennials rather open their own businesses. They don't
Yeah.
want to work for nobody but they self. And that's where I give the thumbs up to millennials because they started it. The millennials was the first generation in our communities to want to open their own business. When they get out of high school, they said, forget college. I'm smarter than college. I can make money doing this. And they're selling sneakers and everything, creating their own sneakers, their own t-shirts, everything. They just very business minded. So I absolutely love the millennial generation, which is my daughter's generation. My daughter's 33. And she was like, Ma, oh no, I gave you what you wanted. You wanted my high school diploma. I'm not a geek like you. Okay. I don't read all the books. I want my own business. I'm not going to all that college like you did and then go to work and white people treat me like that. She said, Mama be in jail. I said, okay, baby.
Yeah.
So I support her. She said, so I support her. She said, I want my own business. I'm not going to college like you. You went to college ever since I was in fourth grade, and I did. We graduated at the same time. By the time my daughter graduated from her senior year, she and I graduated together. I graduated from grad school, and she
Mm-hmm.
graduated from high school.
Mm.
And she said, I will never do that, Mom. Sorry. So,
Man, that's crazy right there.
yeah.
Hold on a second. Sister Betty, holler at him for 1 second. Let me step away from the mic real quick.
So
Hold
yeah,
on, my
yeah.
bad.
I'm open minded, and I agree to disagree, y'all. You know, I do get a little hard with our young men and women because that's what I want them to be, young men and women, because I know they're capable to do anything, anything. And the millennials, they're the ones born like between 1984 to 1996. That's a hot, intelligent population. And they're all alike. They're all business minded. They know how to make money. So I have a lot of respect for the millennial generation. I appreciate them. The millennials what made me strong. The the strong woman I am as a mom. Generation Z is a complete beast. They know everything. They are like super super intelligent. So, yeah, I think they're great. I do. I see somebody said I'm wrong. That's fine. It's okay to agree to disagree. We all have our opinions, and we're all entitled to them. But shout out to everybody watching. You know, Brother Sanchez and I go way back, like way back. So I'm always support his channel. I'm a flat earther, flat and motherfucking power. So yeah. Hey Elise, I see why you're up in here. Hey now. Miriam Gregory. Oh yeah, baby. Thank you. No, some folks think I'm in my 40s. No, I would like to go back 20 years, just about. My son, he passed away. He would have been 39 this coming October. Yep. I get that a lot with my age, but no, believe me, I'm old enough to be said. I believe my son might be about the same age as Sanchez. Yep. But I hope that during this administration, our people, we're starting to get out in our communities. I want our people to bring back the old businesses that we used to have. We had Black Wall Street in like all the 50 states, and that's a buck. I mean, you could go to a soul food restaurant in any hood across the 50 states. We want to bring all that back. All that back. I want to see our people work hard. All people. You know, the Democrats didn't just harm our people. I can honestly and 100% say that. The Democrats harmed all tax-paying citizens. But I do a lot of work in my own community, so I tend to speak on a specific community. But I can say this: if you're going to look at the big picture, the Democrats have done harm to all zip codes, all people, anybody who pays tax dollars. The Democratic Party has harmed us, and that's a fact. That's a fact. You know, being poor, being homeless has no color in this country. And as rich as our country is, it should be no homeless people. It should be no, we shouldn't even be poor people. We should all be living comfortable. If our tax dollars are going over to other countries, we Americans, I think we should be all live comfortably. And that's a fact. I don't think we Americans should be struggling. No American should be struggling with the amount of tax dollars that we pay. We none of us should be struggling. And that's about all zip codes are harmed when it comes to tax dollars. Anybody that pays taxes. A lot of things made me leave the Democratic Party, and I found out that I was supporting a party that was harming me. And that's a fact. But they're harming everybody. It's all zip codes. Race, homelessness, being broke, struggling has no color. We are all of us suffer those things, and we're all tax-paying Americans, and we deserve to live better lifestyles because we send so much of our money to other countries. And I think we need to make when a part of making America great is making everybody live comfortable, right? Everybody should live comfortable.
Do you think that the people that sent, because I was looking at a lot of these people that's turning away from Trump, and I was like, what's the reason they turning away from Trump? And a lot of them is saying, well, he's now doing more for Elon and Israel than for the American people. Do you agree? What percentage do you agree or disagree with that, Sister Bethy? Salutes to you.
I disagree 100%, and I'm gonna tell you why. And
Okay.
I'm gonna use Candace as a um example. Candace is very young. She's like about your age, bro Sanchez, maybe a few years younger. Candace went real hard on Trump. She bashed the Democrats, her and I together for all for through his first term. We supported him, and then we were bitter because he lost. Well, they say he lost, and Biden came in. So we was, still supporting Trump, and then now Trump's back in office. We went hard the whole time he was supporting Trump. I thought that she would make a great press secretary for Trump because she's a journalist, and she didn't get picked. And I guess that hurt her a lot because she probably, not saying specifically she wanted that position, because there's other things she could do. So now when you don't get picked for a party that you work so hard for, you become bitter. There's no real reason. That's the only thing I could think of as to why she's not supporting Trump anymore.
Okay. So
But she
people,
did make enemies with APAC. And once you make enemies with APAC, they don't want nobody.
um, so Candace Owens turning on Trump is more personal reasons than what he doing as far as, because what I was telling people, like, how did she just figure that out now? Because when she was pushing for Trump, people was telling her anyway he was gonna do this. Everything he doing now, people was saying then we don't stand by it because we don't think it's a good idea. It ain't like Trump wasn't transparent about what he was gonna do, because I was saying it's gonna be Elon and giving more power. I called it out, but people was saying basically trust Trump. Yes, he gonna do all that, but it's gonna work out for you. She was one of those people saying that, but it's like now I can kind of see what you're saying. She going against him, and she pointing out some of the same stuff people Ben was pointing out. Uh, so yeah, I can kind of see how you can make that argument too.
It's
So,
personal because she was the most vocalist, one of the most vocalists supporting Trump. So now all of a sudden, I mean, just 3 months ago, well, when he got inaugurated, she showed the whole inauguration on her channel because I watched it. I was over there, and she was looking at his wife and saying, "Oh, I want to be like her so bad. I truly do. Look at her; she's so sharp." Now all of a sudden, it's this other stuff, and I'm like, it's because I really believe she wanted a political position. That's the only thing I could think of. And I told her when I was on her channel, I said, Candace, I think you should be nominated as this press secretary. And she was like, well, no, they don't want me there. She says, I like doing what I'm doing now. That's how she responded to me. And
mm,
she's from Connecticut, just like me. Candace from Stamford, Connecticut. And
mm,
that's 20 minutes away from where I grew up. I grew up in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And
wow, okay.
she had to go to private school because the former governor's son threatened her life, and she she ended up having to do homeschooling, like in her last 2 years of high school, because the threat was so bad.
Mm.
Yeah,
That is crazy, man. People are
yeah.
saying, well, she didn't really leave MAGA. She still support Trump. And the thing is about Trump and MAGA, you can't halfway do it. You got to be all in on what Trump got going. But I mean, she's criticizing Trump in ways that opposition is doing. So a lot of people wouldn't agree with y'all that she's still just 100% MAGA. But this is what I wanted to talk to you about, because I was curious about this whole situation going on in MAGA. But we can switch gears about other stuff too. But before I go to another topic, was there something that you wanted to bring up on this stream?
Well,
A
no, I just
topic?
wanted
Yeah.
to add one more thing. Don't forget, Candace has a husband. He is British, and they got a whole problem with white Africans. But you got it. They do.
Last
They're
thing
very jealous of
uh-huh.
Elon. They're very jealous of him.
You know what? I can research that and probably find some truth to it, I'm sure. There's another claim out here that I think MSNBC put it out. They said that Elon Musk come from an apartheid family in South Africa that was came up basically on some white supremacy type stuff, neo-Nazi type stuff. Now they got receipts for it. They can trace his lineage to it. Now, a person may say, well, that may be true, but he's still benefiting us more than hurting or helping us. Or a person may downright deny it. Where you stand on it?
I haven't done a lot of personal background on Elon, so I can't even confirm that, nor will I deny it. You know, he
Uh,
seems like a really cool dude to me. He actually reminds me of an Asian man, if you really keep it a buck. He does. If I Because I watch a lot of Asian movies, and he reminds me of an Asian man. He really do.
you know, the thing about Elon is South Africans don't really like him. And I think that if you start researching his family lineage, it goes back to the fact that the same kind of animosity blacks got toward the uppity whites in America, they're saying that was Elon's lineage. And I looked a little into it. It's a lot of receipts for it. Yeah, that's why he can't really be as big as he want to be in South Africa. They got their own electric car. They kind of rival him. And you would think if this is my home and America has embraced me, why wouldn't my home do it? Well, it's because you got the same colonial agenda as America, and that'll get you.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And that's just a theory, though. You know.
Well, and then again, it might not be. It might not be a theory, brother Sanchez. Like I said, I haven't looked into his personal, bio, but I've
Yeah.
just looked strictly at his business bio, and I put away the fact that um they're of different race to me. Here are two intelligent businessmen. That's what I see. And that's the type of governor or president that I felt that we need. We needed a business-minded president that will have compassion for business owners.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the way I looked at the Trump administration.
Now,
Obama was not a business-minded man. Biden was not a business-minded man. So he's doing things where it involves businesses. And what do we want our businesses to flourish over here, right?
mhm.
There
Now
it is.
that there we go. Now check this out, right? Speaking of businesses, Trump has referred to the Gaza Strip situation several times as a real estate opportunity. Wouldn't
Mhm.
you agree that that's kind of distasteful? Maybe he should use another word because you said he's a businessman, but this ain't really a situation because the reason we voted Trump in, Trump said he wasn't gonna send us to war. He did say that. And a lot of people that was turning on Trump was saying, wait a minute, Trump promised that we wouldn't invade Gaza. He promised that we wouldn't be going as hard as we're going now for Israel in Gaza. And not only are we going hard for it, Trump ain't biting his tongue about the agenda. He's saying this is a real estate opportunity for who? For Americans or for the Trump? Because when you have a president in office that is a businessman, the question is his actions to support his businesses or to support the American people? That's kind of, I think, where the people will probably start to ask those is where he would get a little flack at. What say you?
Well, I'm gonna say what I said when I was with the Democrats. If he's talking about land in a area in which is not where he's originally from, colonizers are colonizer. All colonizers are business minded. What do? They go and they take people land. I
So,
mean, look at West Africa. If you look at West Africa, they're now having a lot of structures like us over here. Wherever United States got land at, their structures are mimicking ours. For many thousands and thousands of years, Africa it did not have high story buildings. They had a little dirty huts. But you know where the United States have colonized because they have buildings and apartment buildings and communities like ours.
yeah.
So that's what they're gonna do in Gaza. Just like China. China didn't. There when they look at how China is beautiful. They got people still living in the mountains, and they got I love how China's set up. It's pretty. So colonizers are colonizing.
Well, you think that China law system is pretty? Because I ain't gonna lie, they got
Mm.
some good and bad, but a lot of people say, man, China, they chop your hands off. You got to kill the firstborn of all of the male. You think that
They still do
yeah,
that over there?
yeah, as far as I check, they still do it. Yeah.
It is a communist country,
Yeah.
but they still do that to people over there.
It's still a lot of stuff that
I mean,
they still got sweatshops in China where they can lock the people in and beat them for performance. I don't know if those laws change, which is why China making everything made in China.
I know everybody can marry. They don't have they don't have as much as arranged marriage like they did in the old days. You can now marry who you want in China, but I think China's beautiful. I think Japan is beautiful. And I think Korea is beautiful. It's
Yeah,
just expensive.
yeah, I enjoyed Korea when
Expensive.
I was there.
Korea is beautiful.
It is.
So
Hey, Sister Bethy, I'm gonna shift gears a little bit
go
from
ahead,
Trump and
shift
Elon.
gears.
Let's talk about FBA now. Let's talk about
Ooh,
FBA.
foundational Black American.
Yeah, now, Sister Betty, I know you are Aboriginal and you agree with the concept of us being here. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock and all that. But
Mhm.
where do you stand at with this, with the group, FBA, Tariq Nasheed, or and you can bring up ADOS too. Where you actually stand at with those particular kind of groups?
Okay. As far as foundational Black American, to me, um, I don't like the fact that there's now another label that's been placed on our people. And that's what Tariq did. And I don't have nothing negative to say about Tariq Nasheed at all. I think he's a great guy. I don't have anything bad to say about him. I just wish that he would have stuck with what he first believed. He knows about the indigenous people here. And I'm speaking on the mainland. I'm not talking Central and South America. But putting another label, foundational black, it's just added to the eight that they already gave us. You know, when Europeans came here, they saw us and we became these Indians and then colors and then mulattoes and then Afro Americans. That's a hairstyle, Afro American, okay?
Yeah,
Then they had
it's,
Negroes and all these racial identities that we went through as a people. And the most recent one that came out in 1988, African American. Okay, in 1988, I was 23 years old. How you gonna give me a race identity? I'm born with who I was. I am not from Africa. There's not a few white guys did not snatch black people out of Africa and bring us here and change. It's just not happening. White people are afraid to walk in our communities now. So how you gonna go from one continent and bring them over here? So it was all a lie and history was whitewashed. And for him to, I think I was a little disappointed when he gave another racial identity. I identify as who I am, American Indian. That's what I have. That's what my state has for me. But all these other racial identities, I mean, we're the only ones on the planet Earth with nine different racial identities that have been placed on us. Okay. In the old days, they never called us Africans. That didn't, and African American. That was didn't even come about until 1988. And so I'm a little upset because that makes racial identity number nine. Now, a lot of people that look like us are not us. That's the problem over here. So if we're gonna stand out, we need to be back who we were. If all of our people do not select black and African slash African American, African American is going to disappear because none of them can prove that they're from Africa in any federal court. None of them. So if you can't prove it, you can't check it. We can prove that we're American Indian. So we're working on our communities. Hey, if you can't prove you're African American, then you're lying on your application, sir.
Yep.
You're not going to any federal or state court with no 23andMe test saying, see, I'm from Africa. It ain't happening. And
Just,
so
uh-huh. You got it.
I just think that that was a disservice. I think that's the only thing I dislike what Tariq Nasheed did when it comes to foundational Black Americans. I don't like that, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. Some people do.
I think that another thing, what I think you would have disagree with him, because like I can get jiggy with foundational Black America and the concept, but it's a lot of things I would critique on it too. I think you bring up some good ones, and I think another one is ultimately Tariq Nasheed still subscribes to the out of Africa theory, and I think why I support the Dane Callaways and like the Aboriginal communities is because they'll push back. Like a lot of people will be like, well, it's foundational Black American. That's saying that the first Black Americans that came over here from Africa, they started, and I got a problem with that. That's why I was telling folks it's levels to the whole FBA thing too. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy because
Africans
yeah.
from Africa even tell them, and this is just recent, they even tell our people, you're not African, you American. They tell them because they
Yep.
know. Even when I speak to Chinese people, they even tell us, you're the original people of this land. They really, literally, they're bold like that.
Yeah.
And they know Africans from American Indians. They know the difference. And Africans will tell you that we are not Africans. I've had so many conversations with Africans, and I was like, just like we know our history over here, they know their history over there too. You ask the African, do you have a story of a few white guys coming on a sailboat? Because remember, in the 1600s, they didn't have no motors on no boats, Brother Sanchez. So how are you gonna chain a bunch of Africans who are very strong and bring them to the United States on a sailboat? How did it get here? Are you they're saying they came through the Bering Strait and all this stuff? A sailboat flew from Africa and made it through those storms. Now, if you want to talk to anybody about making it through a water storm, talk to Sanchez because that's his neck of the woods. He knows land layouts. Is a sailboat gonna blow here with 3 million niggas on it and chains and make it here?
Hell no.
And that
You going
we have.
now listen, guys, I'll open up the panel. Like Sister Bethy said, she ain't ducking no smoke. I'm just here to let y'all, hear these perspectives. Because I know it's some Pan-Africans that may want to come up. Speaker, you got it. And I got receipts to back you up too if they come about those
I want
ships.
the Pan-Africans to prove their ancestor in Africa. Where's the dead ancestor in Africa that states that they're from Africa? Now, don't get me wrong. Now today, yeah, we got real Africans here. So if somebody tell you they're African, I believe them. I don't fight them. You know you're African. I know I'm not. The problem I have is when you come and try to tell me who I am.
Yeah.
Don't
Hold
tell me
on.
who I am. You don't know my history.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Dudes, yeah, a lot of these dudes is my son age. You 35, between 30 and between 25 and 35. You're not gonna walk up to me and tell me who I am. No. And it's not that I hate Africans or have anything. I rock with Africans. I get them sisters to do my hair. And we have these conversations. And when they're doing my hair, and they, when they do my hair, they tell me, you mix. No, I'm not. Why I'm mixed? Because my hair is not thick. I have very soft, curly hair. and I take after my father. And they think that all brown people with brown skin have thick hair. I'm not on that continent, so my hair is not like that. I'm from here. And you know, our government records prove who we are. I've got all kinds of articles, primary resources telling us who we are. And confirming I could walk in any federal court. That's why my state didn't give me no smoke when I went and corrected my records. They know. And a lot of Europeans, white Europeans, said, "Oh boy, if I had to say what you said on your channel, thank you, because my family didn't get here to the 1900s, so I'm not no I don't have no ancestors that owned slaves in America. We came here in 1900." So a lot of white people are relieved because they don't like that. A lot of them are upset. They say, "Excuse me, I came here in 1890. Slavery was over already. So how is my ancestors a slave master?" So we have these conversations, and so I don't pay the Pan-Africans any mind. I think at this point that they probably will stop because they're not getting no reparations. If they want reparations, they're gonna have to go to Africa and get them, because if Africans came over here, you were sold from your African leaders. They're not getting United States tax dollars for no reparations. They can forget it. But that's already out the door anyway. And we had a lot to do with that because we wrote our senators. We told them, look, these people are not us. And we didn't enslave these Africans. This story's a lie. Why do you think Trump is after Smithsonian now? Throw the bomb for Trump. He said, "Oh, hell no, you lied about history and we want the monuments back." So he already telling you right there. You lied about history. And so that on that note, we're putting the Department of Education in all the different states. So now that works greatly in our favor because now we can go after our individual states for teaching false history. And we gonna win. It's not my burden of proof to prove that I'm from here. It's their burden of proof to prove that I'm from Africa.
Yo, that is facts, man. Now come on now. I'm gonna
prove that.
I'm gonna tell y'all.
They have to prove I came from Africa. Show me my African ancestor.
That's
because
big
you came
facts.
here in the 1900s. So how you gonna tell me where I came from when I was here when you got here?
Come on.
And you see why they fired Isaiah Thomas off the
what
top.
Isaiah said. What he say?
Let me get the video for you.
I got to open up the screen share. Let me open up. You got the screen share.
Let me go get it. Let me go get the video.
Shout out to Isaiah Thomas.
They fired him the next day.
Oh man. Yo, and listen, you can't prove it with DNA, y'all. We're gonna talk about that in a minute too. Cause we're gonna DNA, yeah, okay. We're gonna talk about that.
Let me get it over here. Let me get it up first. I got it. Let me see.
The ancestry test, I'm gonna debunk all that if you come up here with that.
Oh, thank you. Because I could mute my mic when you do that. I ain't got time for that.
Me too. Let me mute mine. Go to his clip. We'll play it.
I'm going now. Let me see. I gotta get back where you are, dude. Where Sanchez go? Oh, Zoom. There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
Hear what Isaiah got fired for, man. He had to say something, huh?
Start sharing screen will appear. Do you want to continue? Yes. So where's Isaiah Thomas? I had him up here.
I forgot it was another celebrity that came out and said, "I'm not an African American." And he came out and checked them right there on the media. I forgot his name. And he was letting them know about his Aboriginal side. About his Aboriginal history. Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go.
You ready?
Yep, you got it.
All you gotta do is go type in some words and you can get it right now and understand where you've come from and how special you are.
Can I just end with this one thing? These four brothers sitting here, we didn't all come from Africa. And there was a country before 1492, and our history goes way beyond 1492. So you can't start us at 1492. We were always here. We were always here. We were always here.
Golly.
We were always here.
And you
And
fired him for, and they, bro.
they because he told the truth. You know, it was, you know, a lot of our people, okay, you have the silent generation. That's what I was thinking about generations.
Crazy.
You have the silent generation. After the silent generation are the boomers.
That was fire right there. I ain't know Isaiah said that, man.
Wait a minute. I must got another screen open.
You getting
I
echo?
think I do. No,
Oh,
I had another station on. But okay,
damn.
go ahead, bro.
That was I ain't know Isaiah went hard like that.
Oh yeah, he telling the truth. But everybody knows now. It's no secret no more.
Yeah.
And Smithsonian is in big trouble because they whitewashed history. And a lot of white people tell you. They tell you, no, it's a lie. It is. It's the truth is coming out. It's been hidden too long. Our ancestors were silenced. They were not allowed to say who they were. And the way that they dismantled and was part of getting rid of our original history, because, you know, they dismantled all of the tribes, especially in the South, all over, you know, the 50 states. And it was either convert or die to Christianity. Our ancestors didn't practice Christianity before Europeans came here.
Yeah.
So the way to
Facts.
do it was the ceremony in the Christian church. Once you get baptized, you forget the past. So everything, the way you lived in the past is no more. So we were not practicing our spirituality. Anyway, in a lot of instances, I like Buddha. So we sort of had the same kind of um belief system. We believed in the natural things of the earth. And it got changed to Christianity. That's why you see so many brown folks in Christian churches, but they're now leaving. Yeah, baptism. That was it right there. And when they baptized you, they gave you a uh Christian last name, Bible name. Some Bible names. Yep. They were ordered to give us uh European names. And I can pretty much prove that too. Um Look at this, brother Sanchez. You gonna be like, what? Here we go. I'm about to show you this.
Okay.
Oop.
They, you know, what made it click for me one day is when I said, I just don't think that the Olmecs were Africans. That meant that the Africans came for the Olmecs and the Mayans, then they came again for blacks during the transatlantic slave trade, and they just kept coming, seeding these black
hot
folks over
mess.
here. Yeah, it just clicked for me one day.
So, American Indians, common American Indian last names. Here we go. And you need to drop some bombs for this one when you see the last names. Here we
Okay.
go. American Indian last names. All these last name niggas got Smith, Johnson, all the Johnsons in the South. It's over 4,000. These are common American, most common last names for American Indians and Alaskan natives. Smith, Johnson,
Wow, yo.
all of them. Wilson,
I thought
Thompson.
those was all slave master names.
Oh, these American. Well, we was enslaved Indians. They enslaved us on our own land. Jackson, White, Martin, Lee, Hunt, James. These are all American Indian last
So
names.
let me ask you something. Why do when
Y'all
we
can
think
have
of
this.
American Indian last names, we think of like Geronimo sounding words, like these words, like you don't think Hamilton, but when you know what I mean? That's crazy. You think
These are
Indian,
all-
yeah.
These are all American Indian, and all niggas got these last names.
And that's
Ain't
why
no
people
Africans coming over here with these last names. These are American Indian last names.
Griffin,
These are the names.
Jefferson, Steele,
Everything.
Walter, Perkins. Yo, that's why Pan-Africans think that we claiming somebody else's identity when we say American Indian, because they don't know that these names, because if you ask them, they would tell you we got the slave master's name.
No, and I have the instructions on the census. And I don't feel like pulling that up. Maybe that'd be another show, but I have instructions on the census where the Department of Interior said, do not give them American last names, English last names, American Indian, give them these names because they didn't like our names. We had nicknames and we still keep that practice. Like my daughter's name is Yesel, but I call her Mookie. So you go to school, your teacher ain't calling you Mookie. They changed it. We didn't have surnames, last names. We had names that they're nicknames. Yeah. And we still do it today. When you go on the street, you got a nickname. Your name might be Killer. Yeah. And those are some of the names that our ancestors had. And the Department of Interior is like, no, those are too offensive. Those are offensive names. If they have those names, give them American names and keep the nicknames so you could cross-reference. I got all that. They gave us, in other instances, they gave us names like Baker because your family was famous for baking. Mm-hmm. Blacksmith.
Like blacksmith, yeah. And what's the other one? Shoemaker is another one. That's facts. Because why would the slave master have a name like Shoemaker? That's the slave job. That would have been, that's crazy, man. Mm-hmm. You say I got to drop a bomb for that one, though, for real. For that list right there. That list is the dagger. Yeah. Because I'm going to tell you right now, when a Pan-African say, man, we got the names of our slave master, it goes back to we didn't land on Plymouth Rock landed on us. So it was taught that when they enslaved us, they changed our names. And they identified the slave by the name of the slave master. So that was what was confusing me,
And that's not true. They gave it because of the way we named ourselves. Yeah. We didn't have surnames, but we got them. So if our name was okay, like one person's name was Black Squirrel.
Lightfoot, all,
I got the census sheet. They called him Blackie, Little Head, Brain. All those
it's real talk,
names.
Facts.
And we still get like we got a boy in our community. His nickname is Shitty because he always smelled like shit.
And I never thought about that because when they was saying Chief Lightfoot or Chief all that, like that's regular stuff we still do. You don't look at it like that though when we saying these names though. That's crazy.
That's and bro, crazy. Sanchez, I really knocked them Pan-Africans out the box because I'm like, wait a minute, no.
That's crazy.
The Europeans that came over here, they came over here with their country's accents. If you talking like somebody from Alabama, you didn't have a Southern accent. You got that from the Indian that was in Alabama. When you came over here, you were British, and y'all had your own accents. Down south, we all have the Southern accents in the South. Now I'm from the North. When Caucasians are down there, they get that from who's already there. They didn't come to America with those accents, so they got our accents because that's how we talk. That's not how they talk. They had British accents when they came over here.
Talk
so
about
you gotta think about that.
Talk about told in reverse. It's deeper than you think, man. Real talk. I'm going to tell you what really gave me an aha moment a minute ago when you were saying, like, you may name a dude. If a dude leg messed up, we may call him ugly leg. We may see, we do stuff like that. We may say, man, we ain't joking on you. It just becomes your nickname. And like, I just never thought about that when you hear stuff like, the blackhead people, a lot of the names they identified was just, this is how you look, that's what we calling you. And we do that today. Yeah, that's crazy, So that was
like we got this dude in our community. His head is extremely round and big, but he's cute. So we called him Moon because his head looked like a moon. It was real round. We called him Moon. Yeah. All these different nicknames. We still keep that tradition. Your
Crazy.
mother got a nickname for you?
Yeah, Scooter.
Scooter. Oh, that's cute. We got Scooters up here. That's real Southern. Scooter. We got Scooter up here. He came from Georgia though. Scooter. Yep. Skippy, Skip. All those nicknames. Those are our Indian. We couldn't go to school with them names. They made us change them.
That's and it gotta be something about that too. You know, because when you trying to re-identify people, you gotta dismantle all that. But see, now I want to segue back to something else about the FBA thing. Who you think got the best terminology for that social political movement? Because you had ADOS, you had FBA, because FBA is foundational Black American, but you can tweak, you can be, ain't the word Aboriginal ain't nowhere in there. I just think that people will say, well, it's just we more than Americans, or we were Indigenous American. That's what the word foundational means. Now, a lot of Aboriginal guys will say, I don't like that the word Black is in FBA. And then ADOS is American descendants of slavery. So a lot of Aboriginals will say, but all of us weren't slaves. So you got these two groups, Sister Bethy. But do you think that they didn't fully take off because of the terminology ain't really accurate quite yet? That still needs to be tweaked in both parts?
Correct. That's a fact.
Yeah.
If you want to look at it, they did come to America and enslave the people that were already here. Enslaved, again, means employment. They enslaved us. It means employment. And I mean, you really have to think logically. Come on. You got 200 acres of land, right? And you have a white man and his beautiful wife, and 300 niggas working on the plantation. So the old white man's gonna come out and beat one Negro because he's acting up. What do you think all the rest of the Negroes? Do you even think they're gonna let him beat him with a whip? That we got to think. They don't even walk through our hoods. They are even scared to sit next to us on a city bus. So how they gonna beat us with a whip? And there ain't, remind you, ain't no close by police stations. They ain't got no phones to call nobody. Them niggas would bury him in the ground, bro, Sanchez. And then what, Alabama? Come on, that's not going down.
You know what's deep about what you
Carolina?
saying? What's deep about what you saying is I always wondered that, like, we was just scared. And then a lot of people came up like, no, they kind of lying about history, but a lot of Black people was going up to them saying, no, they was that big and bad and we were scared. And then I heard, and they was like, why do we want to be victims so bad? It happened in other ways other than just beating you up. It was more, what they call it, the paper genocide. They got all these other, and I ain't shooting none of that down. I'm open to that because I always wondered too, like, why we was just so weak as hell.
No, we know what I'm saying. The way Mike Tyson, look at what's the girl name in DC? Shields. The
Clarissa
way women
Shields.
fight now today, they fight the same way like that back then too. Picture that. Come on. The only way, let me tell you something. Andrew Jackson did the Indian Removal Act. Who do you think he had in his army to do it in 1812? He marched from the north with a bunch of praying nigga Indians.
Even with
that
the
was
Civil
the
War.
only way.
The Civil War. And you know, now this is touchy, Sister Bethy. A lot of people gonna give you smoke here because I'm from Bama too. And we do hear stories that our people was just really like bullied. I know we hearing that word a lot, but there are a group of people that say, no, we wasn't just bullied. They wasn't just, that ain't how they got it, right? So I'm open to hearing it. I know it's sensitive right now, but we gotta be able to hear it all out, y'all. You know, I'm from Bama, so
now
I'm here.
The bullying you're hearing is mostly stems in the Reconstruction era, Brother Sanchez. Because remember, they began because a lot of things were going on in the South, with and in the North with rapes and stuff. So the people got together and just began forming the today we call it law enforcement in our municipalities. And if you did something wrong, it wasn't just white people coming around whooping you, it's niggas too.
House, yeah, for sure. The slave
Just like
patrol.
today.
Yeah.
Just like today. You have white officers, you have black officers, you have all races, and they're protecting the communities. But see, it's easy to blame it on the white guy, which is sickening because more of our people, believe it or not, was hanging us. Because you look at the same thing we did back then, we're doing today. We're killing each other in the droves, day to day,
Let me ask
in our communities. And we did the same thing back then.
Now look,
Fighting
who
on the
would be more of a threat, Sister Bethy? A black police or a white politician like Trump or Elon? Because this is a hard one for our people too. I'm loving this bill because it's like people don't know who for us, who against us. And a lot of people do think that a lot of our people who work for the government are the enemy. But at the same time, we rely on government officials as well, like in the White House and stuff like that. How would we weigh the odds on the dangers of each one?
Well, first, we don't have people that look like us running for those positions, right?
Yeah.
Secondly, when we do, I think wisely, it's not a color thing for me. Like, say, like Al Sharpton ran for president against Trump. I'm not picking no Al Sharpton. I am not picking Perm Pap Al Sharpton
Me too.
and
I'm not either.
Poppy Eye Jesse Jackson. I'm not picking them niggas. I would rather have somebody more worthy that understands all zip codes. And those two, they're not representative of me. I'm sorry. And I'm keeping the buck. I would not vote for neither one of them.
I'm with you on that. So for sure.
It is what it is. And I'm just keeping it a buck. And it's hard. It's hard. Man, I'm not even gonna say it because I'm gonna really piss people off. Go ahead.
No, I want you to say it now. Because when I drop the link,
it's harder working for a nigga than it is for a white man. Because when you work for a nigga, you gotta work 7 times harder, and your paycheck is always fucked up. But go ahead, you got it.
Oh shit! All right,
keep it a buck.
Sister Bethy, guess what? I'm gonna listen. I got so many clips.
I'm ready.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna bring them. Before I let them on, I'm gonna give you one more thing as our guest for the day, and that's your video clip. I always gotta hit y'all. I'm gonna let you review this one clip from Charleston White. He's talking about how Africans feel about Black Americans. Let me know where you agree or how you stand. We're gonna bring the people on. Oh, you saw that one? All right,
no, I want to see it. Go.
I got you.
Charleston White, crazy.
Africa ain't built no ship and came back over here and rescued one nigga since we left from Africa. Yeah, and Africans don't like us. Yeah,
I know you
Africans
agree.
don't fuck with us. They don't like us, and they stink. Yeah, and some stinky people. Yeah, niggas, fuck Africa. Yeah, they ain't our people. We niggas, slaves.
You playing Charleston White
of slaves. They would never call no nigga. The first group of Africans.
Can you hear me, Sanchez?
Yeah, I hear you. Oh, you couldn't hear it?
I don't see it. I thought you were sharing
it. It's an audio clip that I was playing. It's an audio clip. The video is just really like a picture anyway. But did you hear him though? Only thing I was gonna say about that clip, my bad. Yeah, only thing I was gonna say about that clip, Sister Bethy, the approach that Tariq Nasheed take and the approach that Charleston White took on here, I'm saying I don't agree with Africans that we from there and that I'm an African, but I don't disrespect them and go into all the you stink and all that. That's all I wanted to say, and then
right. No, I don't like that either. I don't like doing that. You don't have to do that.
Right.
I respect people if they say they African and they got proof. I respect them. I'm not gonna argue them. One thing I won't do is tell somebody they're not from Africa. But if I do their genealogy and find out that I'm very sorry you're not, But and then they say, yes, I am. Yes, I am. I just have to respect them that they African. You saying you African, so you African.
I wanted to play that clip and end it on that note just so the Africans know not all of us are just on some crazy stuff like, because it's a lot of that's becoming popular, you know, and that's really, to me, it ain't happened to us for real. You know what I'm saying?
What about the dude in the motor vehicle that knocked the African out? How'd you know the difference between our fight style?
You know what? I wish I had that clip now to show him.
I
That's
got it.
fire.
I'll send it to you.
Good,
You want me to email it to you?
Or either play it, yeah, either one, yeah, for sure. I got to play that. That was so funny.
Let me, all right, I'm gonna mute and find it.
Come on up, y'all. We got the round table open. Where everybody went from the last show. I thought y'all was gonna stay in the waiting room. Salutes, man. Let's get lit with these 5 topics. But this video clip was crazy though, man, because when the African say nigga, nigga, that's his ER version. You know, white people put the ER on it. The African people put the UHH. You know, you sending it to the email.
I got it up and I'll email it to you.
Okay. Chris Foss, what's good, man? Welcome back, bro.
Yo, bro, Sanchez, it's been a minute.
Yeah, glad to have you, man. I'm going to leave a flow open for you, man. Hold on. Let's play this real quick. I guess, yeah, let's play this clip right quick and we're going to speak on the race relations.
The difference between Africans and niggas on mainland North America.
Security! All I need is my tag. I'm out of here. Please. My tag. Hey! My tag. I don't give a fuck, nigga. You see this shit, nigga? Are you ready? You ready, nigga? Huh? Who's ready, nigga? Who ready, nigga? You ready, nigga? You ready, nigga? You think I give a fuck, nigga? You ready? Are you ready? Nigga, get the fuck back, nigga. What, nigga? Huh? No. What? Continue the number. Where you at, nigga? Oh my God.
It's all over.
Hey, like I said, look, when you listen, when you get 2-piece like that, all you need is a biscuit.
That's what happened when you come on the mainland. Sorry, that's in my state.
Yeah, buddy.
Them to say that knockout punch guy is the same nigga that Andrew Jackson marched with down south. There it is. That's the War of 1812 and the Civil War. And when you look, I made sure I took all them records from the army, and none of them say Africa. They say coloreds. If we was Africans, they would have put African. The army man would have put African on there. He put coloreds. So sorry, we're not Africans, but shout out to all the Africans, all the real Africans.
Yeah, bro. That's crazy right there, man.
That punch, bro, Sanchez. I think I still be holding my head.
Bro, that was so clean. Cause the first one stunned him just to set him up for the not like finish him fatality. Finish him.
That was a heavy set dude that he knocked on the floor, and then he got up and walked like he was delirious.
Yeah, buddy. He sure got him good. Let me open up the panel to everybody. What y'all got for me on the panel, man? Welcome, Key Norfolk, Zab, Chris Foss. What's good, y'all? Who wants the floor?
Salute, bro. Salute, Sister Bethy.
Hey, Key, what's up, stranger?
Hey, I miss you, Sister Bethy. You've been in here going in too, especially when you say the last name, when you said the nicknames. Hey, that's our people right there, you know, and
Yeah.
you made a real valid point because it's a lot of Pan-Africans trying to say we got our and we got our slave masters nicknames and stuff. And you can even tell with the name Jackson, that was Jackson. Jackson's was Jack's sons. And they
Yep.
consider daughters, you know, the family was the sons. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
the whole family took the last name Jackson. So you on point. You cooking, Sister Becca.
Mm-hmm.
Much
That's
love
what I
and respect.
do.
Ain't gonna lie. That's why I said
That's what
like,
I do.
and I'm a debater. When I can't really debate, like I used to be a Pan-African, bro. And it was so easy to debunk that transatlantic slave trade. Man, I love to debate people on how these wooden ships can't make it over here like
Oh,
that.
I love when Bro Sanchez knock him out the bucks with the slave ship because he's the master of the land and the weather. Brother Sanchez, kill him with that. You
I
be
love
careful.
them arguments, man. But we don't even get people up here arguing that no more. You know what the number one thing with the Pan-African argue? The ancestry test kits now, and I say they at the bottom of the barrel with that one.
They are. That's been debunked.
Yeah.
I mean, when the people who made it even came out and said it's entertainment.
And I did
I
a
mean,
show where the U.S. military even told the soldiers it was bogus.
it is.
So yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
yo, bro Sanchez, I remember in listening to one of your videos a while back where you were debunking the out of Africa theory, and you said something that stuck with me. Um, it was so they said evolution started in Africa, right? Like we came from monkeys, and that started in Africa. So if we
Mhm.
had to agree with evolution and like the round Earth theory, then like the Pan Africans based their beliefs upon that. So it is like all in line. You know what I'm saying? Like with
Yep.
evolution, and
Yep.
so I don't know much about like the history. Like I'm Puerto Rican. My mom's white and European, but my dad's Puerto Rican. So I I've heard that Puerto Ricans are like the Native Americans mixed with Africans. But that's probably a lie too, then, huh?
Oh,
It
that's a
sure
lie.
is.
Yep.
And I just showed you the list of names of all the American Indians and Puerto Rican names is on there. Garcia, all these
Yep.
Puerto Rican names, Vasquez, Velasquez. Oh no, it's
I
not
saw it.
Africans. They got pregnant because Puerto Rico is America. That's North America. Okay, it's an island, and over there was niggas. So if you have the more of the Negro features, so the ones that look more white Spanish, they're gonna call you the African. But in fact, the nigger that was originally there is the Indian. So
Man, it's
the way
crazy.
they treat you, just like they treat us over here. The
Mm-hmm.
white person or lie and say they had like eighth, fifth generation grandmother
Mm-hmm.
that was Indian, and they're 1/64th blood, and they could steal the land.
They
That's
So
doing
crazy.
they doing the same thing everywhere.
yep.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Salute, so
Fact.
thanks.
So yeah, cause oh yeah, you good, Zab.
Yeah, my
What's
man.
good, Zep?
Peace to the panel. Salute to you, Sanchez, Sister Bethy, everybody on the panel.
Salutes.
Peace and
So
power.
I was listening to a podcast the other day on YouTube with Asir, the Duke of Tears, and he was talking about the whole Kanye thing with the KKK hood, the black hood that he wore.
Yeah.
And he says something that I was able to go in and verify, which was the history of the hood. Now,
Mm-hmm.
according to Asir, the hood was from us, from black people, because what happened was, as Sister Bethy was talking about, with Christianity being forced on the indigenous black tribes, what happened was, in order to preserve their culture, they wore the hoods and they did it in secret. So later on, when the Europeans got here, they learned the secrets from the Freemason sellouts amongst us. And in a mocking way, they started to wear the white hoods. It's like anything else that they steal from us and turn against us. So I just wanted to know if y'all were able to what y'all think about that.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say this: the black hood that the Klan wear, it does go back to our people, and it didn't have nothing to do with racism or hate. It was dealing with shamanism and spirituality, and basically, the point at the top of the head is like when they say that the unicorn can go to the other side of the rainbow. That's the whole tinfoil hat concept, to where like your antenna connecting with the other. So I can go deep, and that's the Klan hat is no different than the witch hat. These are modern day relics to personify ancient technology. That cone on the head would have been an ancient form of Neuralink, and this is facts that I know that the Mayans, Olmecs had brain computer interfaces way before Elon, and they was able to get out of their body and upload their minds just like they saying today. But yeah, that's why they called it witchcraft, sorcery. They said that the witches played with a kind of magic that today it'll be what Elon doing as far as how the brain computer interface is gonna lead us into the future. I'm gonna go deep with that, right? You right. This come from us. Now the question I would ask you, Zab, so I don't be too long-winded, I'm agreeing with you. I would say, is Kanye wearing that to represent my ancestors, or is he doing it to coon because he want to be on his
Oh, he
anti-black?
definitely
Yeah.
doing it to coon, and I think he doesn't even know the history of it.
Nope.
It's like, when someone does something and inadvertently it kind of opens up the can of worms. So I think that's what happened with Kanye. Like he was doing it to be,
Yep.
KKK'd out, but by him doing that, he's actually opening that realm so we could go in and really explore. Okay, what's the deal with this hood? Where did it come from? What's it really about?
And I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't think that black people will ever reclaim the hood just because the damage that's been done by the hate groups. Even if you educated them on what I just said, it'll be hard to get us to walk around like Kanye every day. So that's another subject of, if that was ours and now it's not, what's the science of desecrating symbols and rituals and customs? And I'm gonna tell you right now, they gotta get the people who created it to be the main ones advocating for it to go away. So for example, we called ourselves niggas back in the day. And guess what we saying today? Quit calling me a nigga. That I don't like that word, reverse psychology. They don't got to say, when they want to take your identity away, because black people say we don't have an identity. I would argue that naga or nega, naka, was one of our identities. That word, man, is so damn old, bro. You can find so many variations of it. It's crazy. Nazi is another variation of nigga. Did y'all know that? That the word Nazi was once naki, naga, nagi. And that is so, bro, it's crazy how many people
And they got
use
something
it.
called nigga cornbread too, if you look it up. So there was nobody making fun of us saying nigga cornbread. It was like a brand, like nigga cornbread. I found it. It's old. You can actually Google it.
Also, you want to
So
know what I found out too? The word Sambo. You know how they used to call us Sambo?
Oh, yep,
That Sambo was the highest god
yep.
at one point. So it
And
was
so,
a
right,
that's
crazy thing.
facts. That's facts.
right.
Hey, you know what's crazy? Sister Bethy is doing this special on her channel about Buddhism, right? You can find traces of Buddhism. When they came over here, guess what? We weren't praying on our knees. They came and they saw the Olmecs and them send Indian style meditating. That was our first spiritual system. So It ain't like if we were to go back to Buddhism today, it'll be, that's what we was before we was Christians and all that. If we practice an ancient form of Buddhism, because the modern form of Buddhism with the Dalai Lamas and all them, I think, is that the name of they leaders? But all of them sold out. No, that's Hinduism, the Dalai Lama. I forgot who the, yeah.
And not to cut your bill, Sanchez, but I don't know if you remember, like, it was like maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, you did the show with the whole Nazi symbolism, and you just blew the whole lid. Like, that show was amazing. And, you had to take it off because of the whole thing. And it's just crazy how all of a sudden now, if you go all over social media, the whole thing is about Nazis, black Nazis, the swastika. Like, you see, not to bring up Kanye again, but you see him wearing the swastika. So now people are really looking in, and they're able to verify all the things you did on that show with the whole free energy and what the Nazi symbol actually meant. It's just crazy how, like, in like synchronicity, it's all coming out now. You got to do another show on that again, man.
I'm gonna do it because it's gonna, and I'm gonna fall back and let the fly optician grab it. When Terrence Howard coming out talking about free energy and all these omnidirectional technology, that ain't his technology. That's Nazi technology, Vimana technology, Hitler technology, Tesla technology. Everything on the world stage is to hide the truth. Even with Terrence Howard, but can't nobody see it. Everybody will say you hating. So it all goes back to the Nazis, the Nagas, and the knowledge that they had. You know what I'm saying? So I can't wait to go into the, because like I said back in the day, I said they're going to demonize the swastika, the rainbow. They're going to do that with the LGBTQ. They're going to demonize the word nigga. And you know what else they're going to demonize? That's a very important teaching tool, the Confederate flag. So they don't care about your feelings. They trying to get rid of spiritual symbols that will link America to the rest of the ancient world. And if you want me to pull out these collages, I'll show y'all what I'm talking about. Because the symbols that they getting rid of in America, it will link the Olmec and all of them to this ancient indigenous culture that was practicing this same flat earth, spiritual system, which is what Buddhism was based off of and all that. We can tie that in later. Let me pass the mic.
Yeah, man. Hey, welcome to the panels, Sister Betty. Bro Sanchez and all the
Hello.
man. Hey, man, the discovery of the pyramids, man, that would trip me out, man. Because to me, just like what Sister Betty said, it undoes everything that we were taught. Everything that we knew is all out the freaking window, man. And you know about that, right? Like what they found deep beneath the Great Pyramid.
It was a power plant. Man.
Yeah, man, they found 8 massive spiral-shaped cylinders dropping over 600 meters straight.
Now watch this.
Not to cut your bill, but you know what I'm thinking now? What about the pyramid? If they got that over there, imagine the pyramids over here, the ones that's even bigger than that. What's underneath these pyramids? What's underneath all of the mounds that they demolish?
I got you.
That's what's over there. You could just imagine the technology we got underneath all the pyramids over here.
Yeah, let me cook on that for a second, right? Here's another one of those situations where I say, I will say something for years, and then they will come out and say it, and people will act like it's brand new. And I'm going to give y'all an example, right? I've been showing images like this for years of the step pyramids, right? And I've been showing images like this. And I've been telling people, right? Let me show this real quick. I've been telling people for years that the pyramids all around the world are part of an ancient energy grid, and they've been calling me pseudo. Now this is coming out, and you see how I'm ahead of everybody? Now look, I've been sharing this for years. It ain't that I'm ahead of everybody. Who ever heard of Robert Gulick? Robert Gulick was telling people in 2017 that the pyramids all around the world was producing free energy as subtle energy, which is green energy, sustainable energy. I'm talking about this kind of energy is what they trying to perfect, y'all. Because guess what? The way we generate energy, we lose more of the energy than we actually use just by the way we generate it, because we don't know how to generate it in a subtle way. And listen, people all around, not just me, I'm not going to take the credit. This is what I'm saying. It really gets under my skin, because everything we've been telling the world, they will laugh at us, they will joke on us, and then when these people, hey, we found out the pyramids were energy devices. Guess what I was telling people? Y'all want to know how the pyramids was built? With electric saws. They was cutting the stones with electric tools. They had electricity. Simple. They was talking about aliens built the pyramids. Who remember that? They still talking about aliens built. Why would aliens need to build a pyramid now that we found out they got electricity?
Real talk, man. That's advanced engineering. That's technology. It's not ancient agriculture. That's advanced engineering, bro. Real talk.
It's also free energy, right? So ever since we switched over to oil and gas, and the whole Rockefellers and all of that, they don't want. See, people keep saying like they discovering it. It's not that they're discovering it. It's like they're hiding it and it's coming out, and they're trying their best to not make it come out even more, because if we find out that we could power our own energy by these pyramids, what we need oil for, like what we need to be getting the gas, and then the whole system shuts down, because now we don't got to go to war with these countries trying to get the oil and everything like that. So it's about control.
You was on it, man. You was on it years ago, bro. Years ago, you was on it, man.
I told them this would happen.
Yeah, it wasn't built by primitive tools or slave labor. I remember you said that this was intentional, precise, and it was hidden on purpose, bro. It reaches into something older and smarter than anything we ever been allowed to believe, bro. Real talk.
It's crazy like that. We can really be ahead of this stuff, but the people around us that's hip, they get laughed at. And it's like when we always say that the people in power will stay ahead of us, man, that's because y'all don't believe nothing until the people in power tell y'all ass. It be people already among you warning you about it, prophets and all that, and the people laugh at the prophets. And they don't wait, they wait till the Caesar tell them the shit before they go with it. And the world ain't changed.
I mean, like I said before, man, they've been lying to us the whole time. The powers that may be have always known we had other sources of energy. Free energy, efficient, clean. And they buried it, bro. They buried it because if we wasn't depending on like fossil fuels, or we'd be stuck in this loop of working, paying, and barely scraping by. They wants to keep us like that, bro. They needed us to enslave into the system. So they built one around oil, gas, and face scarcity, bro. That's real talk.
Big facts,
Yo,
man.
Sanchez.
Yeah.
I got something to say quick, fast. I know you guys on the power energy thing, but
do you think?
I just wanted to find out. I know on the slavery thing, you guys know about the first billionaire. It was a black girl. She was a slave or something like that, so-called slave. Is that true? I was watching that somewhere before. I don't know how true it is.
Yeah, you talking about Madam what's her name? The lady that had the hair products.
Yeah, the hair product, man. Yeah, it's true.
Is it Madam CJ Walker? No, what's her name?
I say CJ Walker. Yeah.
CJ Walker, yeah.
No, it's like in the slavery days. I think it was she was a so-called slave, and she was released and given land, and on that land she discovered oil, and she was like the first billionaire.
She had oil on her land. She had oil on her land. That what you talking about?
Yeah, that's a true story. That's true. She was like the first billionaire. It was a black girl.
Man, like you gotta understand, we've been had billionaires, man. Like they screwed up history so much that now I'm looking at like anything prior to 300 years ago was just all black people. Like I don't even think that, you know how they say they whitewash all of the images. Like I'm really starting to look at all of the historical figures as black, man, because they done came here. I'm talking about the Europeans. They came here, they got in the government, and the first thing they did was just take over the school system, change the history, hide everything, because they knew about all of these technologies. They knew about all of that. So now we can't even really trust what's going on right now. And the good thing about Trump that I like that he's doing is he's using the Doge to go in and expose through the USAID and just everything they're doing, all of the fraud. And now they're going to see a lot of people are upset that he's going after a lot of the, the Black History stuff. But I say, nah, let him do that, man. Like, let's bring back the debate for everyone to talk about. Let's put the Smithsonian on trial. And that's another thing too, like that Doge is showing that the government been paying the Smithsonian to not have us go look at these things, man. Like, let's go find out what's over there in the Grand Canyon. Like, we need to do away with this whole government, man, because this whole government is just been controlling the information.
Well, like Sanchez, like bro Sanchez has been talking about, man, the small hats, they've been running every and every thing. You feel me? And so, Trump has kissed the Wailing Wall too. That's true. But he's the type of president. he's a bad child. He gonna get off the script a little bit. He gonna stay on, but get off. That's what I feel about him, man.
Man, look, I think this go over a lot of people's head, right? You know the reason why they never cap the pyramids is so the energy can come out and flow around, just like a volcano don't got a cap so it can have the lava come out. But that's another topic. I'm gonna do a stream on this pyramid thing. Yeah,
that's facts.
Yeah, let's go to Sister Bethy real quick for sure.
I wanted to share because earlier, a little earlier, you said, Brother Sanchez, that we've been calling ourselves, we've been niggas forever. So I wanted to show you some things in here, like the nigga Indians of California. Let me just do some sharing.
Okay.
See that right down here?
Look at
the
that.
amendments making an appropriation of $3,900 for the nigga Indians of California. That's one. So nigga, that's an 1897. This is primary source. They're newspapers, nigga Indians. Did y'all see this? Oh, wait a minute. The shares. Hold up the share screen. Okay, let me share it again. It's okay. That's that. Here's it's just a bunch.
And it shows that they put adjectives in front of Indian, and nigga was just a type of, that's crazy.
And right here, the Seminole Negro Indians. Seminole Negro Indians now at Fort Clark in Duncan, Texas. We were all over the place. The Negro Indians. These are news articles. They are the ones who are being robbed of their Indian territory lands. Right. Who? The Negro Indians. Let's get it.
Can I speak on that one time? Because when they came over here, Sister Bethy, them Olmec statues are big black dudes that's meditating, practicing a form of like Indian Hinduism. And so they was saying, oh, it's black Indians because they was identifying us by our spiritual practice that they saw in other places in the world, because Buddhism, Hinduism, one of the oldest religions. So everybody at some point was on that, And you see a lot of these statues in Indian style.
And then, right, that's a fact. And then you got the New York nigga Indians. It says Miss Damon has been enjoying liberty on the wrong side of a cell door for the past week. Now, if the authorities will only lock the conductor of the big telescope and 4 or 5 of those nigga Indians up, we'll promise not to say anything about the muddy streets for 2 weeks. Nigga Indians in New York. This is in 1878.
Sister Bethy, they was going around. I believe all of these nigga Indians built the pyramids and they knew about free energy. And then when they took over the land, they started burning like oil and like coal for energy, doing it the heathen way. And we called them heathens because check this out, Sister Bethy, and I'm going to let you go. They were saying that when the Pilgrim was in our land, he had electricity, but we didn't. We was in little dirt huts and with no power. I'm saying when the Pilgrim was in our land, he had a bad polluted form of energy, and we had free energy with pyramids and towers, and he was burning stuff. But yeah, go ahead. You know.
No, that's a see fact. This one, Cherokee. Cherokee. Let me see. It should be showing. Oh nope, it's not showing. Let me. I don't know why it stops doing this. It's not taking it. All right, let's do Cherokee. Where are you? Oh, here it is. Cherokee Bill. Everybody know Cherokee Bill came to Fort Gibson on the 10:30 a.m. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it says the Cherokee Freedmen's Payment has been going on, and not less than 5,000 people are camped at Fort Gibson. Rogers was a Cherokee Negro. It has been considered a peaceful citizen. It's just ongoing. Our history is all there. They unloaded all this stuff on the Library of Congress because they knew that we began opening up about who we are. This one is funny. This one is funny, bro. Sanchez. Hang on. Let me stop the share screen and reshare. This one is funny. Is this it? Oh, you gentlemen. Oh, says how a Texas scout convinced skeptical colonial about Indians. You gentlemen who have served in southwestern Texas began a jolly West Point captain while sitting before the campfire with the volunteers recently have seen the Seminole Negro Indian Scouts. In the early 80s, when I was a lieutenant, my regiment was stationed at Fort Clark and was assigned to command these names, same scouts. Southwestern Texas at the time was a pretty wild stretch of country. Civilization stopped at San Antonio, and the duty of these Negro Indians was to keep the border free from smugglers, marauding parties, and hostile Indians. And then you got the oldest Negro Indian, 23 years old, Cherokee Bill. And our history is out here. So I tell Pan-Africans at this point, you don't argue with them. If they say they're African, just believe them. But we done seen the New York nigga Indians. I showed that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mind blowing, man.
God. It is.
Runaway Negro Abraham. Yeah.
Because
so
what makes it dope for me, because I've said a lot of this stuff, but I ain't have the receipts that Sister Bethy just put up right there.
He brought receipts like a motherfucker, man.
Did you see the y'all saw the American Indian last names?
Mm-hmm. And that this stuff here, I'm gonna be coming back to this video for a lot of references for sure. Appreciate it.
I'll share that one more time, Brother Sanchez, the American Indian last names, because the gentleman on the panel said he was Puerto Rican. Those names are up here too.
Yep, I even saw Gomez, I think.
Yeah, because a lot of them came in from Central and South America. That's true. But you got the main ones: Smith, Johnson, Begay, Yazzie, Locklear, Jones, Williams, Brown, Davis, Wilson, Thomas. These are common American Indian last names. And
Garcia, Martinez, yep, for facts.
Yeah. You
got Perez on there?
Yeah, that's down there. It's thousands of them. Robbers.
That's wild.
Lopez. Where are Indians?
Could I interject with a question?
I kept telling them we was all one big thing over here. It wasn't even Canada. I'm gonna say even Canada too.
Whoa, man.
Yeah. Butler, we know everybody with these last names. Graham, Hunter, Barnes, Boyd. Or
For
these
real.
are
That blow my mind, man.
Because you know why it's mind blowing? Because they taught all of us there were no blacks in America prior to slavery. So it's crazy because now it make me want to find out the first blacks in Canada and all that. Like, because guess what I'm gonna tell you right now? I was taught it showed when no black people in the northern part of the Americas or Canada either, but how they got this whole out of Africa theory going. And I'm like,
We've been all across this plane,
man, we've been all
across this plane,
facts.
bro.
It's
all
crazy.
across there. We was up in Canada, here, everywhere. They ran the air across out. They're all scattered throughout the United States.
That's every last name.
I got a quick question
my
too.
patients and everything, bro.
I was gonna see if I can interject with a question real quick.
Yeah, y'all got it. Look at all those names while y'all go.
So I'm new to this this subject. Really, I haven't done much research. I just know the narrative that we were taught in school. So I was wondering if you could give like a little background or like what is their biggest proof of like slavery, and like is it like entirely false, or
They
is there
don't got none.
Is there like a different narrative that's
false.
the truth?
There was enslavement, but what they did was gave a story of Roots, the movie Roots. That's the only story we as a people ever heard of African stories. So people begin believing that. And it's not true. We don't have no Kunta Kintes over here. It ain't no Kunta Kinte get his foot chopped off. Alex Haley lied.
Yeah, lie. That was a lie.
I got another question.
Hold on. Hold on. My bad. He finna bring up the Book of Negroes. That's a movie. But let me. I asked Sister Bethy about that. But let me say one thing real quick about the Roots movie and the Kunta Kinte story was so deep, right? Because the highlight of that was when they beat Kunta and he changed his name to Toby. And that is the biggest lie of the movie, because what we're proving is that we had names like Toby and all that before getting beat, and that nobody had to beat. Because they saying we had names like Kunta and Kinte because we were Africans, and they beat names like Bobby, Toby, and all that in us. But what we're learning now is no, these was already our names. So now it make me remember why they wanted to drive that scene so hard. Like Toby, Kunta, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
So they said there was no black people in America prior to slavery, but weren't the like Native Americans at least
we were here. We were here.
Yeah,
we were here.
That's a fact.
So, but would they agree to that in their history or no?
Who cares, man? We don't care about what it's being exposed right now.
I'm not understanding his question.
So, I think I heard.
We're spiritual people, man, and they just took advantage of our kindness, man. I mean, we're spiritual, forgiving people, and they. This blows my mind, bro.
Sister Bethy,
huh?
do you have any pictures of the wanted posters of Chief Warhorse and them for killing platoons with animals with them?
No, I don't.
Like you can look up the wanted posters. They got like Chief Warhorse killing the whole platoon with mongooses and hawks and stuff like that.
Guess what's crazy, man?
Whole platoons.
I can't believe she's still strolling.
Yeah,
and I'm
real, bro.
I'm finding
over this land, man.
I'm up there looking for my.
Man, listen, I'm seeing so many names I saw in my life that I thought was foreign to me.
Too, man.
Damn near every black person.
They stole our last names to get our land. We didn't steal their last names.
This is
because
so
if you
crazy.
got to think about it, you come over here and you're Jewish, your last name is not going to be like these names. Your last name is not going to be these last names if you're from like Russia and Germany. They got those Kolkovich.
That makes sense because the small hats came over here changing their name. They just
Man, bro, this is so deep.
True.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
they
tell you
changed
right
their name to our name.
So you know what? And guess what? I'm gonna tell you why this is so deep, Sister Bethy. I was doing a documentary on the Warner Brothers, the Grange family, some of these Jews that run the hip hop industry and all that. And what I found out is that the Warner Brothers, their last name was never Warner. It was Eichelbaum. So a lot of times we be thinking that we got the slave master last name and he come over here and change his last name to ours.
When they came over there, they had to work for us because we had the farms.
It's so
All in
crazy,
the
man.
South.
Big facts. That's the
I'm finding out
stain.
that damn near
So look,
all of the powerful Europeans in America with American last names, they got a foreign surname that they changed it from, y'all.
hell
Yeah,
yeah, bro.
and I
I
got a
don't
Salutes
question too.
understand. We
real quick, y'all. Much respect,
My bad.
everybody.
Shout out
Sister
Awakening
Bethy.
Minds. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the stain, bro, that they turned to steam, the stein or whatever you want to call it. But real quick, my brother, I just I saw you pull the pyramid up, the Mayans pyramid, and all three of my aunts are teachers. And I just want to show you the number system that's even taught in Jamaica. It's in the Mayans pyramid, as well as the alphabet as the second circle. Even even one of the articles where she pull up the nigger Indians, the lady, Mistress Dame Eion, that's Damien, that's my middle name. So a lot of this shit is like the islands has a lot of similarity as well. Like I'm an Arawakan Indian, you know what I'm saying? But that's just Taino, that goes back to the Mayans. But if you can pull that pyramid up real quick, oh well, Sister Bethy sharing. Sister Bethy, if you can just share that article you had where he was just showing the nigger Indians, showing nigger Indians. I just want to show you like all our names are alphabet. Like a lot of the shit they call it Latin now, but that shit comes from our people from this land. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she had the article up where you had the
Every
Mister.
last name I ever saw in my life, every last one I saw in my life, damn near in America, right here.
Hell
I
yeah,
ain't
bro.
capping.
Even your last name,
I put
bro.
this in the
Perez is
chat
Perez. You know what I'm
for the
saying?
audience. I put
You
the
hear me,
link
bro?
to this American Indian last names in your chat so that the chat could look through it at night with some coffee or tea on a boring Sunday. But
You know why? Because people gonna think that they looking at slave master last names. This is really
yeah,
that
now they got
really
the
right there.
story.
Because check out what I want to do. I want to take this now to some of these big, like I would love to get Omar in a debate on some shit like this, man. Like, why can't we arrange these big debates with the big Pan-Africans, bro? Now I heard that
Sure,
Dane
man. That's funny.
Calloway, my bad, I'm a in here. I heard Dane Calloway and Umar Johnson got a debate coming up, and that Umar accepted a $20,000 debate from Dane Calloway.
They lying. He's not gonna do it. He came out on his live the other day and said he is not debating Dane. And
I'm
Dane
gonna tell
even
you,
had a live the other day. He ain't gonna do it because he's gonna lose.
We gotta talk about this, Sister Bethy. This is a portion of the show because look, $20,000 can go toward FDMG. And he's begging for donations for the school, and you got the luxury to turn down a $20,000. I heard he was gonna give him that win or lose just during the debate. That's crazy, bro. That show you don't know what you talking about. Cause I would have been like, man, that's an easy 20 for my school. Sign me up. God, man.
And
That's
look at his
so
last
crazy.
name, Blackwell. It's a
That's
lot.
crazy.
You see a lot of names that your friends, and you see your last names up here. So, we're correcting history. Oh, it finally ended, Brother Sanchez.
For real.
Correcting.
Yeah.
We're correcting history, and we're, our biggest thing right now with us, with Wire, we're working with our states now. And Dane's doing his thing, working with the states now. The education's pushed to the states. If people want to be African, let them be African. But we want to be a part of correcting our history, because we were written out. They literally wrote us out of history and told lies that we died of the Spanish flu and all the Indians are dead. No, they're not. Because if all the Indians died of the Spanish flu, how come all the white people didn't die of it?
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
So I
that's
just,
crazy.
I'm
That's
just
big
like,
facts, though.
come on now. So
I
we're
So
got
working
a
with
quick
our
question
states.
though. Couple months ago, I don't know if it's maybe like a year ago, you did a show on Sonetta, and you had a brother up there talking about um the European invasion and how they did it. You familiar with the show I'm talking about?
When they invade, I did so many.
So it was a show on Sunday that it was a dude up there, and he was talking about religion and how religion was like a mind control virus, and then what happened
Son
was
letter.
those Europeans got sent here in droves and droves and droves to pretty much wipe out the indigenous population. And he had a whole breakdown, and he was able to show the science of how he did it.
Oh gosh, I don't remember who that was. Were you talking 2 years ago, maybe?
It might have been a year ago. It wasn't that long ago.
Oh goodness, I can't even remember.
You know I gotta do a whole stream on Umar turning down this 20 racks, man.
Oh,
Real
he's
talk, bro.
funny.
I
He a
got to do
mess.
a whole stream on that, man.
No, because like the reason why I brought it up is people ask how were they able to take over and wipe out all of the indigenous tribes and then go in the government and change the records and put the whole slavery thing in it. And this kind of goes back into the whole free energy thing, right? So I like to call it natural free energy, free energy that doesn't pollute the environment, energy that's in harmony with nature. And a lot of the state capitals are built on energy centers. And there's a viral video out right now of the sister like giving the knowledge on that. So they say things like, how they say like the slaves built the White House? Well, no, they wasn't slaves that built it. And then the Europeans, when they got here, they went in and invaded and took it over. So it's like we were in the government. There was a war going on. You had like these waves and waves of these Europeans just coming over here, like just go on a war. And while all of that is going on, we're fighting amongst each other. So it was easy for these Europeans to come in and just pretty much put themselves in the government and start changing a lot of the history that we're taught. And the brother on that show, he had like a well thorough breakdown. And then he even brought up, that image that a lot of people show of the Mayan queen that married the
Oh, I know you talking about. You talking about metamaterial.
yeah, metamaterial. Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Meta. You
about.
talking about meta with the Incas and all of them down there. You talking
Yeah.
about meta. Yeah, that was on Sanchez channel. He has a great breakdown, but he speaks more so from a Central America and South America perspective because he's really into Carimio, Ahu. But I don't see eye to eye with Carimio because he's light skinned and he's color struck. He wants all the black people to be black Europeans, so I'm like, nah, money grip. Nah,
He in that
nah,
Latin
Yeah,
culture, that
nah.
because the whole
Roman culture.
the whole black European thing is that the only truth to that is that you can say, well, there were always black people in Europe. And what I'm finding out, man, what a lot of people don't want to admit, everybody was already everywhere as far as back as you can see. Is the only people that weren't already there is the people that's saying we weren't already there. Now, just let that sink in. Yeah.
Right.
Yo, when I look up on Google, where did the Native Americans come from? It says Asia. I'm just curious what you guys think about that. It says
Yeah,
about
that's true.
20,000
But they
to,
tell you that. They tell you that. They did. They came from Asia.
So
and then like
the
that kind
thing
of
is,
goes along with Bro
yeah,
Sanchez. You were saying like the meditation statues and stuff too.
yeah, you can definitely see a relationship between early Olmec Mayan culture and Southeast Asian, or what they call the Khmer Empire culture, and others too. Ain't the only. A lot of historians will make that connection, but they will make it for the wrong reasons to make the certain person. They'll tell you somebody else, like the Asians are the first people to America, but the thing is, the people who they send when they call it the $5 Indian, when they say that those are the fake Indians, the word Asian and Indian, how do they relate to each other? Because my thing was this right here. Everybody was called Indian. It's like Christian. And there are different people that can be Christian. You can have Asian Christians. You can have Negro Christians, which is us. You can have Christians can be all kind of different races. What history did it made us look at the word Indian for the land that we call India on a map today, and even Indonesia, some people try to link it to. But the word India, it literally comes from the word Indus, dealing with Indus Valley civilization, which predate Nile Valley civilization, by the way. And it shows you people in the Indus Valley who was building pyramid structures, had writing systems before the Egyptians, also practiced the earliest form of Buddhism, which at that time wasn't called Buddhism, it was called Jainism. This was what people was practicing worldwide, even the Mayas and Olmecs.
That's deep,
I'll
because
show you
Jainism was purely flat Earth too.
Yeah,
You can see the similarities in the culture. I'm sorry, Sister Betty.
You talk about metamaterial, where this is India, and the original people from India, you know, they had cornrows. These are cornrows. This is what metamaterial was showing.
These are facts.
So yeah, and that's true, and that it's easy to mistake them for us because they wore cornrows. These are cornrows. And they're highly intelligent. So yeah, he's very, very, very.
I agree with him on that. And there's another, I think that was CJ. What's that? They keep saying Neely Fuller, but there was a guy taught the Sambo, the god of Asia. Classic. I keep bringing it up because what it shows is they didn't call black people in America Indians for no reason. They call us that. Anybody during that time would have been called an Indian. That would have been a synonym for me calling you like a Buddhist or a monk or a person whose spiritual system is to sit with their legs crossed and meditate. Let me share some with y'all real quick, and I know I'm hogging the mic. Moses is the god of Christianity. He learned from the Egyptians. He didn't learn from the Indus Valley civilizations. You had the heathens who was going around worshiping the Greek gods, and they taught that humans couldn't leave the earth. Their symbol was a serpent, just like ours. They adopted that. I'm going to go in that later. Remember, Moses had that serpent symbol. But why am I bringing that up? Because somebody just said flat earth. The original people of this land taught that you can leave the earth through meditation. The heathen didn't know nothing about being good, quieting yourself like Buddha, having good frequency vibration. They were meat eaters and warlike creatures. In order for you to lead the earth, you got to master your energy. So it's basically, it started off right there when they started telling us about the space program. When they took over our land, they was telling our future generations, you can't lead the earth. But they was telling us, they was teaching us what they was teaching their heathen children, that humans can't lead the earth. Only the Greek god, the gods of Olympia, can enjoy heaven. We never taught that to our children. We taught, I am self-law and master, what Buddha taught. If you master yourself, you can ascend to the heavens like Enoch. They took the book of Enoch out the Bible. They took it out the Ethiopian Bible. The way we was teaching people the first space programs was meditation and being good. But when the heathen conquered the world, y'all, he got us now believing in man technology to get off the earth. Good luck, you'll never get off, trust me. Only way out of here is what our ancestors said. And the heathen got everybody believing the lie now. So this can go very deep depending on how y'all want to go as far as how they took away our indigenous knowledge and all that when they came, you know. But salutes, man.
I appreciate that.
I had a question too, man, because you brought something to my mind when you started making a connection with Asia and Indian. It's another thing they do too when they hit that gong, because in Asia they're big on energy and frequency and sound and cymatics and healing and stuff like that. Have y'all heard about the bells that we had? And once they took those bells down is when they was able to put up like they hospitals and stuff, because
That's true.
we weren't able to reset the frequency of the people, but the bells no more. Y'all heard of that?
Yes,
I
that's
heard
true.
it. I heard
Very
it.
true.
Do the
I heard
share
that.
screen, bro, Sanchez. This is old stuff.
You got
I
to
remember this when I was little.
You say you
It's
got something
sharing.
for me?
Yep. I
Okay.
keep telling y'all that name sticks with us forever.
Yeah, this is what I was sharing, because a lot of stuff they stole from us. Now, the heathen taught us about something called Jack in the Box, y'all. Don't you
Is it
know?
showing?
Oh, you're sharing. I'm sharing. Are you trying to share? Oh, because if you sharing, I'll stop
Oh,
mine. No, I'll stop mine.
yeah.
You go ahead. You go ahead for sure.
It's showing.
I got you. Let me go to yours then. I thought you was talking about mine. My bad. Go ahead. Do your thing. Yeah, this
I
good
was just
stuff.
showing you how that word stick with us. Is it showing now?
Yep. Got you. That nigga motor oil. That's crazy. But what's crazy is the nigga is dressed in Indian garment because when you watch
That's
all
who
the
he was.
old facts, we watch all the old Indian movies and they ain't got the Indians looking like what you showing here.
Oh, they trying to push Tonto, but we got them. That's Hollywood. Those are Hollywood Indians. These the real Indians. These niggas right here. This ain't no way. This is and you know what? This isn't Alabama. This isn't Birmingham,
Mm-hmm. And
Alabama.
it lets me know why they want to get that logo off the Washington Redskins helmet now.
Yeah. Yep.
It ain't because they care.
It used to be called Indian Baseball League, and then they changed it to Negro Baseball League.
You know,
People,
but that's
even
us,
the
honey.
word negus, Negus, bro. If you want to pull that up, or Sister Bethy, just Negus.
So
That
many
meant a king
variations.
of the land. Real talk, which is just
So many
genius.
variations, man.
I niggas is just genius, as well too. But if you pull that word up, niggas, Negus, you will definitely see what I'm talking about. But bro, I want you to go back to that goddamn Jack in the Box you about to go in, because you did pull the Mayan
You
pyramid
know what's
up.
crazy, man? When you talk about niggas and you flipping around the word genes, which is genie or genetics, because they call us the serpent people, and the genie got the little serpent tail. And that's what I was going to go into, that whole spiritual side, but I'm going to go back to you. I wonder if that word genie, negus, genie is tying into that word Guinea. When they say stuff like Papua New Guinea, you can find go ahead. You can find these words, man.
Even when y'all was bringing up Sambo, like the
Black Sambo.
Naginis, it's all the same shit, my nigga. It's just that cymatics, the frequency of words. So when I asked you to pull up that Mayan pyramid you had with the toroidal field, if you can just pull that up for me real quick, my brother. I just want to show you one thing.
There you go.
Yeah, right there. So you see in the middle, that's literally the numerical numbers. That's worldwide. As you can see, if you see right there, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way back around to 13. Because 13 is just representing the core, and everything rotates around that. You know what I'm saying? That's why Jesus had 12 disciples. But yeah, right there. And then everything else is just cymatics. This is our alphabet. This is the shit that ties you to energy. They call this ether. You know what I'm saying? Or the all-seeing eye. But you see the outer circle? That's literally cymatics, my nigga. This is what created alphabets. And when you go in the middle, this is the same thing the Buddhists, the Hindus, this is the I Ching in the middle as well. All of it's all related. You know what I'm saying? It's like we were all connected at one point, man. You know what I'm saying? Just from resonating with nature, resonating with truth. You know what I'm saying? But if you can see in the middle right there, you see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all the way around.
Right.
That's the same as the I Ching, as well. And then the outer circles are the frequency or the cymatics. It was all one language that connected all people. That's why we could all build pyramids.
This one language that connected us all is when the Bible said when they tore down all the towers, we spoke different languages, and now we lost all this. Because
the Tower of Babel, right?
Yeah.
Hey, there we go, Sister Bethy, because now we start babbling. We start breaking away from the truth. And then they start giving us the Bible, which is just the two bulls. These two toroidal bulls right here. Well, I can even go down to the 5, because you see each pyramid at an angle. But go ahead, though, bro.
Yeah,
Can I interject?
Yeah, I gotta let the Sister Nature get in because I'm pressing. But yeah, go ahead, sister.
Okay, so I have a different type of take on like everything. Because you remember the movie like the Woman King came out named Dahomey? The Warriors and Dahomey?
Yeah, I remember that though. Yeah, the homie. Yeah.
Okay, so we got
The
a
big
place in
homie.
I'm from the South. I'm from Arkansas, so they got a place here called Dahomey, Mississippi. And so basically, what I did, I researched it, and I was trying to understand like how the hell we got a so-called African over here in the South.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what I researched, and I mean, you can push back on it.
I will.
How I look at it is Africans are the colonizers of our land. I mean, it takes a lot of research to go back and do etymology like you do and everybody else, but how do you go back in the 1600s and 1700s like I did? And how do they have their name down here in the South at the Mississippi Valley? And
okay,
I have a theory.
I got you.
I have a theory that, you know, the reason why they want you to call yourself African Americans is because, I mean, I'm pretty sure some people do know that Africans were over here. I'm pretty sure they didn't call themselves that, but they have a place here. And like Sister Bethy was saying, they assimilated with indigenous people in their names.
So
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you. What I would say is, it's true that Africans came over here. What ain't true is that all Africans came over here during the transatlantic slave trade and that black people are Africans. So if people can find places in America where African people came here and set up settlements or tribes, and you can even see the names of them, but again, that's their history and not ours. What the transatlantic slave trade would do was make that and say, well, see, black people, this is how y'all get here. And I'm saying, no, that's how they get here. That's why the name is linking them to Africa, and all of our names link us to here, like what Sister Bethy just showed on the paper. So I agree with what you're saying. Actually, I agree.
That's what I was saying. I was saying that because it's because with the Pan-African movement, I think that's a part of colonization with our people too. I feel like, you know, like everybody wasn't with everybody. You had snakes in the grass back then. Like it was certain people that knew they were African but assimilated and then, you know, convinced everybody else that they were African. You had little plants here and there in communities and tribes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And that's how we end up with this whole conundrum that we all African, after you said about the silent generation, because people didn't want to speak about if they were indigenous or not, because these people were here creating a system for us that we live in now, and we call ourselves African Americans, not understanding like it was certain agents that came from there that are stimulated with us and procreated with us. And then now we all end up African. Like she was saying about Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson, you know, I'm looking at that's how they've been able to like subdue like indigenous people and like cut off our history, cut off our spirituality and everything because of that. Like you said, the Boule, these people are doing that. They know who they are, and I'm pretty sure they know who the rest of the people are. But at the same time, you know, when I look back and I see Dahomey, Mississippi, I'm like, how the hell we got a whole place in Mississippi named Dahomey, and it's from Oyo, Benin, in Africa? How do we have something? And you can look it up. It's called Dahomey, Mississippi.
I know it. Yeah, I definitely. And it ain't the only place. It's other places in America that has African names in it. But yeah, I'm just saying people can't use that to say that blacks here come from Africa. But yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that that's how I'm saying that's how like we got to this point, like it just spread. And you know, that to me, that's a form of colonization when you take a people and you give them a history that's not theirs, and then you make a whole culture out of that, and then here we are now trying to figure out who is not. But I'm just saying, I mean, I can see the pattern of how that works.
Okay,
and I mean, it's amazing because like we have a whole census, like we African Americans, we really not. But I'm trying to, my thing is always going to the root and what came about to really create that type of ideology in our brain. And then we have people like Umar and all.
She funny.
Yeah, I gotta get ready to start
Oh, what
wrapping it up.
happened?
She
Oh,
cut
let me
off,
show.
but
I
yeah,
want.
she cut off.
Oh, she cut off.
I
Let me
don't
show
know
you
how.
one more
Yeah.
thing, sister, because she's right, and I understand. Oh, she fell off. So let me say this, and hopefully she's listening. They did bring thousands of Africans to the Americas. However, they didn't bring them on the mainland here. They brought them to Brazil and Jamaica and put them in some of the islands. And I'm going to show you right here one more last share screen because I want to go too. I'm getting a little tired. I got to go to work tomorrow. Okay, they brought them to Jamaica. Okay. And this is from this year is, oh boy, look at this. See? Now, here we go. These are all old Betty. She's 100 years old. Okay. The color. Now, when you see a Negro, because the British is doing this, that's color, because Negro means black, if you're saying it in Spanish. Okay. Now, here's her race, their race. Old Betty was 100 years old, and she's African. Now, and they got the Creoles. So now let me tell you the difference between the two. African here is someone who came from Africa, and you can look this up, or I'll show you at another time. Old Betty came directly from Africa. These babies up here were born in Jamaica, and they tell you how they separate this. You can look this up. If they got them listed as Creole, it is because they're Africans but born in Jamaica. And this is an African who wasn't born. Old Betty is an African who wasn't born there. She came there. Okay. Old Albert, he's 90 years old. They got him as because he was born in Jamaica. He's an African. They separated the two. The ones that was born in Jamaica, that are Africans born in Jamaica. The ones that says Africans are those that came directly from Africa. And these people are 85 and 90 years old. Up here, they got the babies. Okay. So, and there's thousands of them. They brought the majority of them to Brazil and Jamaica. So that's why when you see a lot of Jamaicans, a lot of them have very strong African features. So this is why I say when people, tell you that they're African, believe them, because maybe they found that census sheet with their grandparent on it. But on the mainland here, we ain't got no African records. Not in our records.
And with that being said, I'm gonna end it right
go.
there.
I'm tired,
Me too.
Sanchez.
Yeah.
I
Appreciate
love
your
y'all,
time.
and
Oh yeah.
I appreciate y'all. And thank you for having me, Brother Sanchez.
Oh yeah.
Much love,
Thank you.
Sister Bethy.
Appreciate
See you
y'all.
later.
See y'all,
Okay.
everybody. Appreciate it.
Hey, bro.
Oh, snap, my bad. Listen, to the people that's listening, be on the lookout. I got a lot of dope streams coming up about the new secret of the pyramids, about them finding out that the pyramids are energy devices. I got a lot of edited documentaries and lives coming out. I'm about to lock in and really start going back to the sacred geometry, syncretism, and really talking about the Egyptians, the pyramids. Also a new information I want to share with you about the Nile River. So it's so much information I want to share. And again, I do need to let you know why they coming out at this time, telling the truth about the pyramids. So stay tuned. There's so much to go over, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace and much love.